Hello everyone, my name is Alyan and today I am here again with another special guest, Miss LS. So, hello Miss, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am also fine, thank you so much for asking me. First of all, I am very thankful to you for joining my interview.
Oh, I thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I'm looking forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, before moving on a question, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm LS Kirkpatrick. I'm an international best-selling author, international speaker, and I'm a mom of four, grandmother of 15, and I love writing books and I love helping people find their purpose and value in who they are.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so my first question in your screen, could you share your journey as an author and how you discovered your passion for writing?
Oh, of course. I've always loved to write from the time I learn how to write. Getting my stories down, poetry was a great release for me. I started submitting to magazines when I was in school. Then life took over and I didn't really do much with it. I started up again with my grandchildren and the books that I made for them, my children said I need to put out on the market for everybody. And I thought, no, I just wrote it for them. What will it do for other people? But after 3 years, I took the advice, and now I have 20 books out there.
Okay, great. So, what type of literature or genres do you enjoy writing, and what themes resonate with you the most?
Oh boy, that's a tough question because I like to do a lot of different writings. I have children's books, I have books for young adults, I have business books. I really like anthologies. Now, for those of you who don't know what anthology is, I didn't know until last year. And it's where other authors, writers all get together and put a book out together, usually on one theme, sometimes not. But what I like the most about it is everybody working together to create this great masterpiece. It's just so energizing to me.
That's great, awesome. So, tell us more about Writer to Reader. What inspired you to create this platform and what is its mission?
Well, Writers to Readers was helping other people write their story, get their manuscript out. I talked with people who had their manuscript sitting for 20 years and didn't do anything with it because they were afraid that nobody would like it, afraid it would be too difficult, afraid that somebody would take it and turn it into something else, or afraid that they might get known and then what do they do? Um, so we kind of go over a lot of the different fears and eliminate them, but find out what is it that you really want to do with your manuscript, with your story, and help you get it out there into the hands of readers.
That's great. So, how has your role as a prayer warrior influenced your writing and the content you create for Writer to Readers?
I love this question, and I love being called a prayer warrior. I prayed for a lot of years to be a prayer warrior, and every Monday morning I pray for what we're doing over my business and over her life. Um, and as a prayer warrior, it influences because it's a part of who I am. And part of who I am goes into every story, even if it's just a children's story about hippopotamuses. Um, I want people to really know that they have so much value inside of them. And in my writing, I try to bring that out for them.
So, can you share a scientific and spiritual experience that has shaped your journey and work as a writer and healer?
Wow, that would take a lot more time than we have here. There are so many experiences and so much that has shaped how I do this. So I guess the most recent one would be going to New York to launch the book Warrior Women. Now, I've never been to New York, never been to a city that huge before, and I had in my mind what I thought it was. Things didn't go according to plan. There were dignitaries coming in, so a lot of stuff that we were supposed to do didn't get done. And I thought, it's okay because there's always going to be distractions and things going on. But what I didn't expect was what happened to me while I was there, not specifically because of the event. The event is what brought me there. The things that went on is what helped shape me. But it's like I've got this extra energy, this downloading, if you will, of getting stronger and having more confidence and going further and stronger onto doing my own podcast, writing my stories. I have 2 books that have come out of it, and and it was just such an amazing experience. I'm so grateful for it, and it just brought me up to a different level in my in my business and my personal life.
Wonderful. So, in what way do you healing practice and spiritual belief interconnect with your work as an author and entrepreneur?
Uh, well, for some people, they talk about spirituality or religion as something that you do. For me, it's a very much a part of who I am. I was 9 years old when I asked Jesus into my heart. I'd heard that you could be a changed man. That was the word used back then. And you would think a 9-year old wouldn't want to change, but I didn't like being the naughty child that I was. I wanted this difference that would make a difference in my life. And when I asked Jesus into my heart, it did make a huge difference. And I liked who I was becoming. So all of it has to do, it just all is interwoven together. Part of the healing practices, um, like the 2 books that I'm doing right now. One is, as I said, Warrior Women, that we just launched in New York. Next one is Behind Closed Doors. And they deal with finding your strength. And I believe every person, man or woman, there is a warrior inside of you. And if you're in a situation that is maybe unhealthy, you need to tap into that warrior and say, this is not the way it's going to be. I need to change and I need to do what I can to change. So it's kind of all interconnected. Writing the books, the stories that I write, is to help give somebody my strength if they don't have their strength, to help them heal from wounds that you can't see on the outside, and to be stronger.
Awesome, that's great. So, how do you empower others through your writing and healing practice? Are there any particular techniques you employ?
Uh, so, as I said, just writing the stories, telling my story, but not just saying what happened, talking about how I got out of situations, talking about how I healed the pain in me. This morning, I was writing about, I was taught to hate from the damaging relationship I was in. And for me, that's like the furthest thing from who I am. But God, through my prayer and Bible reading and becoming a stronger person, I asked God to show me what to do and to help me. And He took that hate away from me. replaced it with His grace so I could give grace. That doesn't mean that I allow someone to do that to me again. What it means is that I heal for the forgiveness. And the big part is I had to forgive myself. Um, and that sometimes is harder than most people would think.
That's great. So, as an entrepreneur, what have been the key challenges and reward of launching and managing writer to readers?
Uh, Changing my mindset, learning that failure is not a bad thing. Failure is just a way that didn't work. And so you keep on working at it until you find what does work. Finding out about distractions and how to harness them. The big thing is capturing those thoughts. Sometimes when you meditate is just giving yourself a chance just to calm down and be quiet. And sometimes these thoughts come into your head that maybe you don't like. You don't just get rid of them, you acknowledge that they're there so they don't keep coming back. But you tell them, you know what? You're a negative thought and you don't live here anymore. So you need to scoot on and get out of here because I have a good mindset now and I have positive thoughts that are coming into me.
Great, awesome. So, what are the primary service or future that writer to readers offer to write and readers?
Okay. Uh, yeah. So if you have an idea of what you want to write, I can help you develop that idea. If you have a manuscript already, let's get it set up, edited. If you haven't ever had it edited or proofread, let's get that done. And so I help you get these things done. I help you get the book formatted to be put online on your own or whoever you want to go with. And if you choose me as a publisher, we get it published out there too. The other thing that I do that has come out of this is I also am a guiding coach for women about 25 to 45 years of age who maybe you've been working really hard at college or at your job or raising kids and you're thinking, is this all there is to life? I know I was meant for more. There's got to be something else. And so we pursue those things. And I have two courses that go through on that. One is called Finding Your Me, and the other is working with a book I have. It's called Everyone Has a First Day. And so not only do we get you to where you find out who you are and what your purpose is, we also take you a little further and help get you guided to where you want to go.
That's great. So, how do you foster a sense of community support among writer and reader through your platform?
Well, I'm still working on this. This is a new one for me. But the big thing is to be open and honest with each other. Um, helping each other because we're all in this together. And, there may be five people who are doing what I'm doing and we're all in the same groups together, but we each come at it with our own perspective. And that makes a huge difference on what we're doing. We can help each other, we can guide each other. So we're not competing with each other. What we're doing is offering different ways to get to where you want to go. And I love that. I love that we can all work together.
Great. So, what role do book club and reading group play in enhancing the literary experience for your community?
Well, I don't actually have these in my community, but I have been involved in both of these. And I think they're really great because you're introducing literature that maybe you wouldn't have necessarily picked up. You're finding out what other people are thinking about it. You're talking about it, you're conversing about it, and you're bringing in all these different opinions and viewpoints. And I think it just makes it really exciting because you're going to have your mind opened up to things. It's like, wow, I never thought to look at it that way. And it's like, oh, this is such a great book. I'm so glad you brought it to my attention. I love hearing about new books and why people love them, and the golden nuggets, as we say, the parts that they got that they applied to their life or to their business. It's just a great way to keep growing and keep learning.
That's great, wonderful. So, are there any author books or literary works that have had a profound impact on your own writing and spiritual journey?
Well, at the risk of sounding cliche, it's got to be the Holy Bible. Um, there is something in there for everybody. I was just reading another book that was talking about marketing. It says there's no one book for everybody, not even the Bible. And it's like, I don't agree with that personally, because there's everything in there that you could ever want to learn about. You know, it talks about how to run a business. It talks about how to treat each other, how to live in this world, how to be a parent, how to be a wife or a mother or a husband or a son, you know, a daughter, how to do all of these things, how to work together. And it might take a little bit of searching to find your answers, but it is all in there. And you have a great thing called version that's on your phone app that you can look and ask different questions and find out answers to what you're looking for. I do searches on DuckDuckGo, Google, whichever search engine you use, and I'll just ask questions like, how am I supposed to do this as a godly person? And it's surprising the things that come up.
That's great. So, can you recommend it any specific reading material for those interested in deepening their spiritual understanding or embarking on a journey of healing?
Absolutely. And what I'm going to do is refer you to my website, www.lskirkpatrick.com. And on there, I have one of the pages is books, and I also have a book blog on there. But under the books, you'll see the books I have that I've written with other authors, um, and then on the book blog, you'll find the books that I've actually read and that I recommend. You can also get a hold of me. I mean, I have people recommending books to me all the time, and I actually have a journal that I keep all of these books in, the titles and the authors and why they were recommended. So I definitely have ways to help increase your reading and your journey of healing. I am a Reiki master, but there are many ways to heal, and so you need to find what works for you. But give me a holler. We'll find out for you. We'll do it together.
Great. So, what is your return process like, and do you have any tip for aspiring author looking to improve their craft?
Oh, absolutely, I do. My writing process is usually 3 o'clock in the morning. I get woken up with something that I just have to write down. I don't know what's magical about that 3 o'clock hour. I've talked with a few others who also get that urging at that time in the morning just to start writing. And I love it, but not everybody can do that. Some things that I do recommend is that you write in the same place and the same time and the same day every week. That way, your brain is already, when you go into there, your brain is already thinking, okay, it's time to write. And so you can get into the writing. Otherwise, you're so distracted and it takes so much time to get your brain to focus on what you need to do now. Sometimes people write in their car before they go to work, just a few minutes. Sometimes they write in their car as soon as they get home. They give themselves 15 minutes before they walk in the door. Others wait until all the kids have gone to bed and then they write. But you need to write in the same place every time you go to write, because your brain has to be engaged, and it's a great way to say, oh, I'm here to write, let's get going on this.
Wonderful, Miss. So, how do you measure the success of writer to reader and the impact it has on literary community?
Wow, that's a tough question, because success means something different to everyone. My success with writers to readers is seeing you succeed. So when you get your book out there, when you figure out what your purpose is, when you start your business, I win at that point because we got you to where you need to be. For me personally, every time I write a book and I publish it, that's a success to me. This weekend or this next weekend coming up, I'm invited to share my hippo book with the community that I wrote it for, and I'm very excited about that. So I consider that a win. You have to look at what success really means for you. What is it that your objective is that you want, um, and just go from there. The impact on the literary community, I think that has to be decided by each person that reads one of my books, or one of the anthologies. The impact I want to make is that it either gives you a great day because you enjoyed reading a book that was just for fun, you interacted with your kids reading a children's book, or you found something that helped you with something you've been struggling with. And any way that it impacts you positively, I consider that success.
That's great, really awesome. So, are there any personal or professional challenges you have focused that have contributed your growth as an author and entrepreneur?
Oh yeah, every week there's struggles. Every time I get to one point, then you've got to get to the next point, and it's um, sometimes it's really tough. In every business, you struggle and you struggle and you struggle, and you wonder if you're ever going to get there. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I'm not struggling anymore. I went past this. Now I'm on to something else. Um, so the big thing is to not quit. Just because it's tough, don't quit. Keep finding a way to make it work. And it's sometimes it seems like you're just not going to get there, but you do, because you don't quit. You keep on going.
Okay, so Miss, my last question is, how do you see the interaction of writing spirituality and entrepreneurship evolving in the future?
Oh wow, this is exciting. Um, I've, like I said, I've got a couple of books that came from New York, and I'm real excited about them. One I can tell you the title of. It's called "The Best Strangers in New York City," and it was just amazing to talk with the people there, um, and they opened up to me and shared their dreams and aspirations, and I loved it. Spirituality, I've got a book coming up on that. I can't go into details. You're going to have to keep paying attention and visit me on Facebook, see what's going on with that. Keep watching my website. As far as entrepreneurship, I'm just keep going. I'm doing more speaking engagements now. I just enjoy every step of what I'm doing. And it's like, what else can I do? I'm working on getting a nonprofit going for orphans and widows. And it's not specifically for them. It's to help raise funds for entities that are already doing that. And as far as, here in the US, we don't really use the word orphan much, but there's a lot of street kids that are out there who need guidance, who need clean clothes, toothbrush even. And so I'm getting a hold of different entities that do something like that for new widows. It's like, what do I do? How do I cope? Where do I even begin to go? I actually know a couple of entities right now that are working with new widows and helping them know how to just get through the day. Sometimes it's a struggle. It's like I've always had somebody else there, or things have always been this way, or now I'm down to one income instead of having two incomes. And so, yeah, so my nonprofit, I want to help support these other entities that are already there. There's a lot of them out there. And I want to see them grow. I want to see more people being reached.
That's amazing, very nice. So, Miss, I am again very thankful to you for giving me your precious and valuable time for the interview. I hope everybody learned something new with your speech, with your talk. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. I really